And welcome to Upon Further Review. I'm Josh Aubrey. Plenty to get to in this week's show. The Georgia Southern men and women in action this past weekend as they were taking on Troy. Also had plenty of high school action going on as well for the guys. They were coming off being swept on the road at App State and had lost 4 of their last 5. But the Eagles able to pull off the sweep. They win in overtime on Friday and then win on Saturday as well. As for the women, they were swept on the road. Troy, one of the tougher teams in the Eagles side of the Sun Belt Conference. So this coming up weekend, Georgia Southern back in action. They'll be taking on South Alabama. The guys on the road, the women at home coming up this weekend. As for the Statesboro Blue Devils, they had a big showdown on Friday night as they were hosting Brunswick in a battle of 2 top 10 ranked teams on the girls side of things. Statesboro's girls ranked 6th. The Brunswick Lady Pirates ranked 7th. Statesboro trails for the first time all year at the half. Then able to come back and win by a very comfortable margin of 9-point victory for Statesboro. For the guys, they were able to win as well. The girls are now 6-0 in region play, 12-0 overall. The guys 10-2 overall and 5-1 in region play. They'll be taking on Effingham County on the road on Tuesday. As for the Bulloch Academy Gators, they had games there on Friday and Saturday. Saturday they were able to split with Calvary. The girls were able to the girls lost that game. The guys were able to avoid the sweep, and they broke a 5-game losing streak by beating Calvary after losing to them twice already this year. They'll be back in action Tuesday as they get back to region play, taking on Pinewood on the road. Plenty of highlights to get to. We'll get to that and plenty more coming up next on Upon Further Review.
The Medical Center Pharmacy on Grenade Street is proud to be your Health Mart pharmacy in Statesboro. The Medical Center Pharmacy, locally owned and serving this community for 50 years, is open 364 days a year. The pharmacists at Medical Center know there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. That's why they take the time to know their customers, explain their medications, and answer any questions. The Medical Center Pharmacy, your Health Mart pharmacy.
Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, the Georgia Southern men and women in action as they were both taking on Troy this past weekend, Friday and Saturday. The guys in action, they had an overtime victory there on Friday night, turned around, and were able to pull off the sweep, winning on Saturday as well. Let's send you back out for some of the highlights. Friday night, Georgia Southern football coach Chad Lunsford helping to greet the fans into Hanner Fieldhouse. Eagles welcoming Troy for the first of 2. The Eagles with the early lead. Elijah McCadden hits the 3-pointer. Next, Eric Boone for 3. But Troy storms back as the Eagles go on a 10-minute drought. The Eagles make a run just before the half. Zach Bryant hits the 3. Next on the break, it's Boone for the slam. The run continues and Bryant will stop and pop another. Cam Bryant in on the fun as he hits the 3. And next it's Kamari Brown. The Eagles with 10 3-pointers in the game, finishing things off. Bryant hits Brown for 3 more of his 12 points. The Eagles take a 32-27 halftime lead. Georgia Southern hoping to thaw into the second half as Cam Bryant hits another 3. Getty Uzapaitis for 3. Troy eventually able to send the game into overtime, but the Eagles right back in OT. Prince Toyambi the dunk, and the Eagles win 67-64. We move on to Saturday, another nice crowd on hand. Toyambi starting things off with the slam. Kamari Brown next. Buries the 3-pointer. Brown starting to feel it as he hits another. He'd have 12 points in the game. Next, Andre Saversov inside for the tough 2. Cam Bryant then pulls up for 2. The Eagles take a 6-point lead. Eric Boone next up as he hits the three. The Eagles up by 14, but Troy coming back. Desmond Williams for three. Getty answers on the other end for Georgia Southern as the Eagles with 10 threes once again. Zaversov adds a three himself from the corner. Zay Williams on the other end with the dunk. He'd lead all scorers with 24 points. Toyambi answers, and the Eagles take a 6-point halftime lead. The Eagles not wanting to play around in the second half. This time around, Zach Bryant heating up with the three-pointer. Next on the break, Grant Weatherford finishing. Bryant later with the step-back three. He'd have 17 points to lead the Eagles. Troy able to cut the lead to 2. But the Eagles respond. Bryant driving hard for 2. Next, it's McCadden. The nice feed to Boone. McCadden then finds Bryant outside for 3 more. Getty then, the nice look to Toyambi, who finishes with the two-handed flush. Bryant then drives baseline to make it a 7-point lead. And finally, check out the shot here by Bryant just before the buzzer as the Eagles win 63-56. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, the luck not as good for the women as they were swept on the road at Troy. The Lady Eagles now 2-4 overall in Sunbelt play. The guys even their record at 3-3 in Sunbelt play. And next weekend, Friday and Saturday, the women at home against South Alabama. The guys on the road. The women will be home 6 o'clock for Friday night and 4 o'clock on Saturday. Well, stay with us. High school basketball action coming up next.
My Queensboro banker is Cheryl Quick.
Blanchard Equipment Company has 16 locations.
Queensboro has homegrown values just like us.
They get heavily involved in every community.
And that means strong customer service.
They've been around a long time, just like John Deere.
When you run across the bank like that, you stick with them.
I sure would like to own one of these John Deeres.
Well, we can sure make that happen.
Oh, well.
Queensboro is your community bank. Queensboro National Bank and Trust.
The Georgia Southern University store with 2 locations to serve you on the Georgia Southern campus in Statesboro and in Savannah. They have plenty of Eagle merchandise to keep you warm in the cooler weather. So don't forget to visit the University store in Statesboro and Savannah or shop online at gsustore.com. Well, the Statesboro Blue Devils were off this past Tuesday. They needed a little bit of rest as they had a big matchup coming up with Brunswick. For the girls, it was a battle of 2 top 10 ranked teams. The Lady Blue Devils coming in ranked number 6, undefeated at 11-0 as they were going into the game. The Lady Pirates of Brunswick were 11-1 going in and undefeated in region play. So this for the top spot for the guys. Statesboro coming into the game was 9-2 and had only 1 loss in region play. They were 4-1, and for Brunswick, they were 3-2 rather in region play and 11-2 overall. So had all the makings of good games and kind of lived up to it. Let's send you out for the highlights. A battle of 2 top 10 teams. Statesboro hosting Brunswick. Statesboro with the lead as Bailey Roberts hits inside. The Pirates able to answer with Akila Bryan, But the Blue Devils on a 13-0 run. Madison Lee comes up with 3 of her 16 points right here. Lee then spots Roberts for 2 more. Next, it's Lee on the run. She'll get this one to fall somehow, and the foul. The Blue Devils up by 8. Later, it's Alexis Ward with the hoop and the foul. The Blue Devils with a chance to turn this one into a blowout, but struggles from the free throw line. Nonetheless, they'd go on to win this one by a final of 45-37, and they move to 12-0 on the season. The boys' game we go. The Pirates open a 5-0 lead. Xavier Bean hits the three-pointer. Statesboro then goes on a 15-0 run. Albert Michael with the layup. Michael then 3 of his 15 points in the game. Jarquez Garrett hits for 3 of his 14 points. More from Garrett. Statesboro continuing to roll along. Cam Michael ahead of the pack for 2. Kobe Altman next pulls up and hits the short jump shot. Brunswick tries to stay within striking distance, but Statesboro continues to hit outside. Garrett for 3 more. Then on the break, Cam Michael once again. Tim Taylor then down low as the Blue Devils open up a 30-22 halftime lead. Second half, more from behind the arc. The freshman Garrett bombs away. Garrison Littles will add 3 more. Albert Michael driving to give Statesboro a 12-point lead on this one. And next, Taylor inside. Some more nice post moves. And finally, it'll be Willie Ballard coming through with the hoop and the foul. As Statesboro wins this one 59-51. So now with the win, the Lady Blue Devils are 12-0 overall, 6-0 in region play. The guys are 5-1 in region play and 10-2 overall this Tuesday on the road for a matchup with Effingham County. Stay with us. Bulloch Academy highlights coming up next.
No credit refused isn't just an offer, it's a way of business and has been for over 100 years. No banks, no ridiculous credit requirements, just local Badcock store owners who treat you right and give you credit when others won't. It's never been easier to express your style and love your home.
Well, the Bulloch Academy Gators stepping outside of region play. On Saturday, the guys were trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. For the ladies, they knew they have their hands full taking on the top 10 team in GHSA Single A Private. Let's send you out for some of the highlights from Saturday. Bulloch Academy hosting Calvary Day in a non-region matchup. The Cavaliers showing why they're one of the top teams in GHSA. Michaela Primo, 3 of her 26 points. The Gators try to get back into the game as Armani Cook drives in, 2 of her 12. Next, the Gators off the mark here, but Sophie Strickland there for the rebound and the putback. Cook then feeds Leah Williford, who hits the layup. Cook then finds Strickland, who hits off the glass for 2 more. Cook ahead of the pack. Can't get this one to go, but Strickland with the rebound and the putback. But Calvary in command. Hannah Kale hits for 3. She'd have 30 points. Calvary with 13 three-pointers, and they win this one by a final of 78-43. To the boys' game we go, and BA had already lost twice to the Cavs this year, but Rodney Hill starts things off hot for the Gators as he buries a couple of three-pointers for the early lead. Ryan Swanson back in the Gator lineup, and he'd respond, finishing with a game-high 30 points. Riley Bragg tries to keep the Cavs in it, but Bryce Clifton answers on the other end for 3 more. And then Hill will hit another 3-pointer. Gators taking on an 11-point lead at the half. Second half, the Cavs able to get within 3, but the Gators pull away. Swanson leading the way as he hits the floater. Next, Clifton able to drive to the bucket to extend the lead to 9. And finally, it's Swanson coming through for 2 more as the Gators roll 69-53. So a big victory for the guys. Hopefully they'll be able to carry that momentum into Tuesday night's game as they'll be taking on Pinewood and getting back into region play, the girls game there, starting at 6 o'clock. As for the Southeastboro Yellow Jackets, they've been off for a while now, 2 weeks for the boys as they've been in quarantine. They'll get back into action and get thrown right into the fire as they'll be hosting top 5 ranked Johnson coming up on Tuesday. For the Portal Panthers, they'll be hosting Metter on Tuesday night as well. And so some big games coming up, region games for all of our area teams, and the Statesboro Blue Devils will be on the road at Effingham County. We thank you for joining us for this week's show. Hope to see you again next week.